morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. It's time for the agenda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and it's the road to the general elections 2026. And this morning, the Deputy PR at the Electoral Commission is going to help us look at polling dates and procedures for the 2026 general elections. That is Mr. Paul Bokenya. Be part of the show, 0709 602 592. Good morning, Mr. Bokenya.
Morning, Julie and our viewers, and I'm glad to be here.
Always
on the agenda,
right,
to talk about the trending issue.
Indeed.
Which is the elections. Yes,
indeed,
please.
It's
good
a
to be here.
Issue. But just to break your ice, something that crosses my mind every time I mention your name, Mr. Bokenya. I'm reminded of the same name that we used to mention a lot while we were facing UNEB back in the day.
He rested the other year and really served massive Kenya, yes.
Indeed, he was the brand of UNEB. But
It's
we're
a
not
very
here.
good name.
I know, right?
Yeah, sure.
But we're not here to talk about UNEB. That was to just break that ice and indeed settle in as we begin this show. Looking at the polling dates, please walk us through the full calendar as it stands currently.
Dear viewers, we set for the elections. The polling days were published and publicized. And right now we, of course, continuing to publicize them. We will have the elections during the month of January. Of course, for purposes of the general elections, we started some electoral activities much earlier this year, actually to compose electoral colleges for special interest groups. And that's why we've been talking about general elections 2025, 2026. Because actually the first elections were held in June this year, when we started composing the councils and committees for youth, persons with disabilities, old persons, older persons, which started from the village up to the national level. They helped us to compose those colleges, which are now going to participate in the election of the members of parliament for those groups, but also for the colleges for local governments. So, but for purposes of general elections, that is presidential, general parliamentary meaning now direct elected member of parliament, then district woman member of parliament, district woman representative to parliament, like the law says, and then of course now the representatives of special interest groups to parliament, that is the youth, the 5 youth MPs, the 5 workers MPs, the 5 other persons MPs, the 5 representatives of persons with disabilities, the 10 representatives of the UPDF, and later on the local governments from LC5 to municipality up to LC3. Those elections are the ones we're going to have from the period 13th of January, starting on 15th of January, when we have the presidential elections, all the way up to the 4th of February. So like you said, if you don't mind, I could go through the dates.
Yes, please.
When we're going to have the elections for the different categories.
Yes,
so we're going to have a very active time during the month of January, starting with presidential elections on the 15th of January. So what will happen on the 15th of January? At your polling station, you will find 3 ballot boxes. That is if the parliamentary positions are contested. So you'll find a ballot box for president, for direct elected member of parliament, that's the member of parliament representing the constituency, and then for district woman representative to parliament. That's what we'll have on the 15th of January, those 3 levels. We've had already these people go around and of course distort the electoral message. We want to assure the public that those dates, in Uganda we have a 3-in-1. We organize a 3-in-1. So it's not good, and I would like to urge, really tell those who are misinforming the public to stop doing so. It is bad, it is sabotage, it is malicious, it's not patriotic. So in order to discourage others and say, no, president is on this day, then member of parliament will be tomorrow, and then the woman representative will be the other day. No. Please, if someone has been doing that, like we've seen even some people posting, that is wrong, that's malicious. and that is trying to, distract the public and mislead them so that they don't make their choice on that day for the candidate of their choice. On the 15th of January, we'll have elections for president. There will be a ballot box for the president, a ballot box for the direct elected member of parliament. If that position is contested in your constituency, that box will be there. And then for district woman member of parliament, in those areas where the position is contested. So that is the 15th of February. So it's a very big day. It marks the first level of elections that we'll have in the month of January. Then we will also have on the 19th, it's a packed time for us. On the 19th, we'll have the national conference for election of representatives of persons with disability to parliament. This is an electoral college. So on the 19th of January, we will convene the electoral college, and we will be publicizing the venue and facilitating the participants, the members of the electoral college, to convene for purposes of electing the representatives of persons with disabilities to parliament. So those 5 members of parliament will be elected on the 19th of January. It's an electoral college. That means it is open to only the members who have been composed, constituted as per the law. So it's not all of us coming to, it's not coming to the 50,000 polling stations that we have. No. This is a delegates conference that will conduct that election. Then on the same day, 19th, we will also be having elections for councillors representing special interest groups. To the sub-county, town councils, and municipal divisions. These are also electoral college level elections. On the 20th, we will have election of councillors representing special interest groups to the municipality and the city division. Special interest groups, when you talk about this, these are councillors representing youth, older persons, and persons with disabilities. We already composed the colleges, and the members know, and we've communicated these dates to them. So all local governments have representatives of special interest groups, and they are also elected during this general election to the respective local government level. That is the sub-county, municipal division, and then the district. The district election is much later. Then, of course, on the 20th, on the 21st is the national conference for election of workers' representatives to parliament. On the 21st. It is also electoral college. So it's not all of us. We are all workers. We will say. But now it's electoral college for workers, and the college is composed. They are already informed. And they know that they will convene at the venues as we have organized for purposes of electing the 5 representatives of workers to parliament. So that is now you are composing parliament. You're composing parliament and filling it. Remember, the first level of parliamentary elections was 15th.
15th, yes.
And we had a direct elected member of parliament, the district woman representative, and now you are adding on to that membership that you are composing and filling up the positions in parliament. So that is 21st of January. Then on the 22nd of January, all of us as a nation will be going to for the elections of our district level local government. That is the district and city local government councils, district chairpersons and city chairperson, or what we call the LC5 chairpersons. This is the date when we'll elect them. On the same day, we have 3 ballot boxes at a polling station because we have elections for the district chairperson, the directly elected councillors, and the district women councillors. So this is where we elect the mayors, lord mayors, and the various councillors at this level. And that will be on the 22nd of January. So 22nd of January is national level election polling day. And all of us, because it's by what we call universal adult suffrage. That means all persons who are registered presenting themselves at the polling stations where they are registered to vote for these leaders at this elective position. Then on the 27th, we will have elections of the municipality and city division chairpersons. So for those areas that have municipalities, and I think we have 56 municipalities, and the city divisions, that's when we'll be having the election of the division chairpersons. So you have Nakawa division,
right?
You have Entebbe municipality. So those that are municipalities, you know, they are the ones who will be having their elections on that day, on the 27th. And of course, now the list of elections continues. There are 14 levels that we're going to, 14 polling days between January 15th and February 4th. So the next level of elections will be on the 28th, where we'll have a national delegates conference for election of the National Female Youth Representative to Parliament. You know, the youth are represented by 5 members of Parliament, and they are elected, you know, at regional level. The 4 traditional regions of Uganda: Northern, Western, Eastern, and Central. And then there is a college that we compose, we bring youth together for purposes of electing the National Female Youth Representative. So that college elects 1 member of Parliament, the female youth representative. So that is what we'll be doing on the 28th of January. Then on the same day, of course, we'll also have the National Delegates Conference for the election of the National Order Persons female representative to Parliament. But for this special interest group, the law says that at least one of these 5 representatives must be female. So there is, through the nomination, all the candidates can be female. It's allowed. But still, we must have a specifically a female representative elected specifically under this arrangement. So that's why on that day we will have 2 delegates conferences. Of course, they're in different places for election of female youth MP to Parliament and female order persons representative to Parliament. And then on the 28th, we will also have the Army Council convening for purposes of electing the 10 representatives of the UPDF to Parliament. Right. That is also an electoral college, which is composed in accordance with the UPDF Act and the Electoral Commission Act. So this now continues to bring in the members of Parliament as prescribed by the law. Right. The UPDF is represented by 10 members of Parliament. So we continue then on the 29th, we'll have election of councillors representing special interest groups at the district level. Remember, we started at the sub-county, at the municipality, and now we're coming to the district level. That will be on the 29th. That is youth, older persons, workers, and persons with a disability at the district level and city level. Then on the 2nd of February, we'll have the regional conference for election of older persons representatives to Parliament for those that are contested, because I think there was an unopposed position at that level. So we will be having the delegates conference to conduct that election. And then on the 4th of February, we'll have the national electoral exercise, where we'll have elections for sub-county chairpersons, municipal division chairpersons, and town council chairpersons. It will be on the 4th of February. The last level of election will be on the 6th of February, and that will be the regional delegates conference for election of regional youth representatives to Parliament. It will be the last level of elections on the 6th of February. And that will conclude the scheduled electoral calendar, which starts from the 15th of January up to the 6th of February. So those are the different polling dates. We have communicated them to the stakeholders, and we continue, of course, to bring them to the attention of the voters so that they participate in the elections come January and February next year.
Very profound at that. I hope you've marked those dates, and indeed the communications keep on coming, especially if this is close to your participation away from the general elections, but those that are part of special interest groups. Mr. Bukenya, one would wonder, is the swearing in bit, especially for now the elected president of Uganda at that time, is it one that concludes the election process, or it's 6th February that concludes the election process?
Interesting, because there are different players.
Right.
On our part as the Electoral Commission, of course, you could say, where do you say that we've concluded the roadmap? Of course, the election cycle concludes when you've gazetted the candidates who have won the election at the various elective positions. So there you could say that the electoral cycle now is concluded because you've gazetted the winner. Now, when you gazette the winners, you pass them on to the respective centers that will now handle the swearing in and all that. In Uganda, the swearing in of the term of office expires on of government expires on the 12th of May every 5 years. So the 12th of May is the date that is on which we swear a elected president, starting with the president, office of the president, because it is the highest office in the land. So the term of office expires on the 12th of May. That's when there is a swearing in of the elected president.
Right.
So, but on our part as the Electoral Commission, we're still involved even in the swearing in because you come and do a declaration even at the swearing in. So our part is still on, and Electoral Commission is permanent. It's not temporary that after elections you close it. The law put in place a period where issues emerging out of the elections can be addressed, can be handled, which is why we have elections in the first 30 days of the last 121 days of the term of office. So the term of office ending on 12th of May, and you count 131 days, it brings you back to the 12th of January. The lawmakers wanted us to have a period within which we can address several issues that could emerge after the elections. For example, what if there is a tie and you need to conduct a rerun?
Right.
And the rerun by law is done in the 30 days. So what if there is a petition challenging the result of the election and the court orders that you conduct a fresh election? The result of the elections are set aside and you have to conduct a fresh, to repeat the exercise. Yeah. So you can do it between that time. So that by the time you sort out everything emerging out of the election before you swear in. So I think that is the period, the electoral cycle is still on. And between that time, you can address emerging issues, issues emerging out of the election. When the election is done and it goes well and it's not challenged, there's no tie, then you need to prepare that transition. Because the government, the person who is elected now has also to sit down and prepare. How am I going to do the new government? How am I going to compose parliament? How am I going to compose all that? So they go through all those protocols. And so they are given time to organize for government. It's the law that prescribes that period. Right. And then, of course, at other levels, you may do a repeat election. For example, if you suspended an election, maybe for a day, or you could now repeat that or do it as within that period. If something came up and you are not able to conduct an exercise somewhere, you use some time within that to address issues like that. And also, that's when people start also to raise their petitions and all that. Right. But basically, the electoral cycle continues. But yeah, at that point, when you gazette, you've concluded the election and address issues emerging. And then other levels, the judiciary, the ministry, for example, responsible for the presidency, and the other agencies of government that organize and conduct the swearing-in ceremony in accordance with the laws of Uganda. And then the local governments and the local governments, the magistrates, the clerks, the clerks of the local governments who organize how the swearing in will be done for the new leaders so that the councils come into place. And of course, the Speaker of Parliament, electing the Speaker of Parliament, swearing in the members of Parliament so that they start their work. So those are the steps that follow after the election. That's where we come in. After that, other issues can be addressed like petitions and others. Right. But yes, that is when the electoral cycle closes. Indeed.
Very important that we learn these things. Sometimes we tend to argue out, misunderstandings without having the facts. As that, you are watching UBC TV. It's Good Morning Uganda. It's time for the agenda. And this morning we are having a conversation with the Electoral Commission represented by Mr. Paul Bukenya, who is the Deputy PR of the Electoral Commission. And we're looking at the polling dates and procedures for the 2026 general elections. Now, Mr. Bukenya, on that day, what is the days of polling days, where we get to cast our ballots? What is expected of the voters when they come to vote? Now, while the Constitution says that one can stand a distance of 20 meters after they cast their ballot and they choose to remain at the polling station, they can be that distance away. The Electoral Commission also says that please go home and come back at 4 p.m. when the voting process is done. What exactly is the truth that we must follow as the electorate?
Yeah, thank you. And there's a question asked that what is expected of the voter?
Yes, in line with that, yes.
Of course, now this has become more prominent, but I would love to address the voter to also they focus on their rights, duties, and responsibilities on polling day. So we have rights, duties, and responsibilities on polling day. Being a polling day doesn't take away our duties and responsibilities, much as it's a day when we exercise our rights.
Right.
So one of them, of course, is the right to vote. Voting rights extend to registered persons, a person who has registered and appears on the voters register, and they present themselves physically at the polling station where their name appears on the register.
Right.
Now, that is the most important thing that members of the public need to appreciate and understand. Am I a registered voter? Do I know where I will vote from? So it's very important that we pray and urge you to keep know your polling station, because we've done some engagement. We displayed the register. Of course, you must know where you vote from. We displayed the register, but it's also online. But we're also going to issue the voter location slip.
Right.
And to help voters understand, know where the parish supervisors are going to issue those slips. They have finished, finished printing them, and they're coming out to you very, very soon. They're issued towards polling, because they tend also to get lost on people. So we'll be giving them out. Know where you vote from. That's very, very important. Then secondly, present yourself at the polling station, that polling station, in time, and participate in the voting. So if you do that, you'll be able to exercise your right. But then you also have duties, and you have responsibilities, including promoting order during the polling process.
Right.
So we have, our electoral law says that a person who has finished voting doesn't stay in the polling station. You cannot stay in the polling station when you have finished voting. You can't do that. It's not allowed. You've finished voting. You have to exit. Now, when you exit, yeah, by law, you can keep a distance if you want to stay by, and the law prescribes a 20-meter distance. But we also know that those who have made a case for vote protection have argued that, no, we need to see what's happening in the polling station. And they've said that, no, this is going to be now a problem. We have 8 presidential candidates. And I wish you could probably take a calculator and look at that. We have 8 presidential candidates. Each candidate is given up to 2 candidates' agents
Right.
If they all turn up, that's already 16 people inside the polling station as agents. We have almost 8 staff officials, 8 election officials in the polling station. Because these are officials now who are doing the issuing the ballot papers and the constable and our staff, presiding officer and the assistants, and the officer who does the inking, the biometric voter verification. But what also makes it even more complex is that we have 3-in-1 polling. So we have areas which have more than 2 candidates for direct elected member of parliament. You could look at the extreme, but maybe we shouldn't get there. There's a constituency where we nominated 20 candidates for 1 member of position of member of parliament. Each candidate is entitled to 2 agents at a polling station. You don't even want to do the mathematics there if they all turn up.
Right.
And then there is a district woman member of parliament. Some of them are independent. We've already talked to some parties that if you are a party and you have a presidential candidate, I think that candidate, that agent for the presidential, can also look out at the interests of the woman MP. And they say, no, the woman MP has a right to send her 2 agents at a polling station. The polling station is already overcrowded by designated persons because agents are allowed in the law. Now, if you make a case that we're also going to be there, then I think that's where we find a situation where and remember, the Electoral Commission doesn't own plots of land where we put polling stations. These are, in some centers, in some urban centers, there are even, you know, verandas and sides of, Yes. There are small areas within the communities. In some places, we're using school fields. So you can say that this is an area that is probably big enough. But also, the laws prescribe the distances. So even if you have a field, you can't put one table at the extreme corner, the one in the penalty area, the one in the center of the field. No. Because the law talks about the meters. Because during polling, as the officers issue ballot papers, the agents need to see what's happening. So there are distances that are prescribed with meters and that are described by law. So the polling station is actually already a crowded place, filled with designated persons who, because guidelines allow you to send an agent. And we're saying that the agents will take care of the interests of candidates instead of encouraging and telling everyone to come and crowd at the polling station. Right. No, that will compromise the secrecy of the ballot. It is there is potential for chaos because that's always where the issues start. But also from our past experiences, that's where people also conduct campaigns on polling day, which is not allowed by law. And now enforcing that many times ends in clashes. So you don't want your polling station to be compromised and even it can be closed, because if order breaks down and everything and chaos, then you cannot proceed with elections.
Yes. So
we are encouraging agents and our voters that please, this is not the first time we're conducting elections. Let's come vote and allow the people, trust them, designate people you trust to do your work for you. Because really they're the ones who even have been trained. When we are training polling officials, they're even the ones that we train on polling procedures. What is a valid vote? What is the authorized mark of choice? They're the ones that, so they are already even trained to cater for the interest of the candidates. Right. And that's why we are saying, no, we should not overcrowd polling stations, although we have a right and all that, but we also have a responsibility and we have duties. So we must take care and make sure that the polling station is a safe area. Our experience also, and from past by-elections and other elections, is that when people are overcrowded or even crowd the area, this also tend to block the path for people who are coming in, and then the voices, it is difficult to control that crowd because it's an electoral environment. It will turn like almost into a campaign. because it tends to always do that. So who are you going to vote for? That's why even people are intercepted. We know whom you've voted for, we know whom you have not voted. So the intimidation, we want a high voter turnout. And so we want to prevent any scenario that can frustrate or discourage people from coming in. So these people are coming to vote and they see these kanyamas at polling stations. They say, no, I think this is not a safe place for me to come in.
Yes.
I think it is going to be chaotic. I think I need to stay away.
Right.
So I think some people may even end up staying away because they think that there is, you know, all these forces that are out there to either intimidate them. We've, in the past elections, had to intervene and tell these young boys that, no, you've climbed the tree so that you can have a view of the ballot box, ballot paper. You are violating the secrets of the ballot. You know now who is voting for who. So these are all things that we do because we are excited about our candidates, but we are breaking the law. And remember, on polling day, there's still law. You know, there is law and order before, during, and after polling. Right. So on polling day, there is still law of the land. So you can be arrested on polling day. So let's not get excited. Let's do what is expected of us, because these are things we've seen. As the crowds gather, they say now, some boys, we've done this, and I'm talking from what we've seen. They even climb and see, because they can see the basin. We know whom you voted. Why did you do this? So the intimidations. So we want to avoid all of those. That's why we say we are going to enforce the distances that are prescribed in law. But this is a conversation we are having with candidates, with their agents, with the population, so that they understand this is your election. It is at your polling station. It's at your village. And I think the people who are there will take care of your interests. Don't overcrowd it. Because of the scenario I've already given, we will not be able to vote. But of course, during counting is done in public. Yes. And the members of the public can come back and witness the counting in accordance with the regulations that the presiding officer will give you.
All right. Now, time is such an enemy, because these are conversations that we need to learn from. But I'm also glad and appreciate the detail that comes with every bit that Mr. Paul Bukenya is speaking into, because it gets you informed with the detail so that you walk the journey to the general elections 2026 with knowledge. As they say, knowledge is power. Good morning, UBC. I want to ask Mr. Bukenya, why is the declaration of results and results delaying? Some of us went through unopposed in the special interest groups in the Youth Council. This is General Secretary, Youth Council, Zombo District. Please speak to this person. He says, why is the declaration of results delaying, and yet they went through unopposed?
No, I think after nominations, the returning officers compiled reports, and they also indicated the areas that are unopposed, and in accordance with the law, when there is one candidate nominated successfully at the closure of nomination, they are declared elected unopposed. So I don't know what could have happened with that situation, but the returning officer writes a report and presents it to the commission that these are the positions that will be contested. This one is unopposed. I think that is something that needs to be followed up. If the position is not contested, then it is declared unopposed. Of course, maybe now the other details come much later, when the swearing in and all that, when now we have composed the entire council. Right. But the notice of elected unopposed should be issued. The declaration should be made there and then. And then the other procedures will follow. We are still in the election, and I think that is something that will be corrected. There will be no election for that position because the candidate is unopposed. Yeah.
Yes, I'm Daniel from Budaka. Let him talk about LC1 elections.
LC1 elections are not part of the general elections. There will be a program that will be issued for LC1 elections and women councils and committees elections after we conclude the general elections. So LC1 elections are not part of this electoral program. And so please, my brother from Budaka, you need to wait for that program which we will issue as we conclude this general election program.
All right. Moderator, thank you for hosting my best spokesperson, Mr. Bukenya.
Wow,
please advise Ugandans. We renewed IDs, but we have never been provided with the new ID. Shall we be able to vote really, or shall we be turned away from voting our leaders? This is Okodel Mukalu from Serere.
Like we've all said, the national ID is a very, very important document that helps us to quickly and effectively identify you. Persons who do not have their national IDs, you should have your national IDs, you need it. And it is very important for us even on polling day. It's easy to swipe on a machine and to read your particulars in a very fast way.
Right.
But if for some reason or the other someone does not have their ID, they will still be assisted on polling day and they will be identified. The register has your photos, it has your particulars. We're also using the biometric voter verification machine, the kit, which identifies your your prints, fingerprints. But also now it has an extra provision now even for your iris. So it is enhanced to because someone may not have threads on their fingerprints. So there is a whole backup measures to ensure that when you present yourself at a polling station where you're registered as a voter and where your name appears on the register, we have a ballot paper for you and we will assist you to do that. But also coming shortly, in about probably 2 weeks, shortly or before Christmas or sometime around there, we're going to start issuing the voter location slip, which now you will also use to know your polling station and also present at the station. So all these are measures, but please, if you can pick your ID, pick it. It is very, very effective. It is very, very good and it's very important. And if for some reason or the other you do not have it on polling day, we will put in measures to make sure that we assist everyone. If you present yourself at your polling station, you will definitely be assisted and taken through the identification and authentication measures, including the biometrics, to make sure you're the right person and you'll vote.
Right. Speaking still on IDs, in case one has not yet received their renewed ID, but they have their old copy, the expired one, in other words, can they still carry it?
National Identification and Identification Authority has advised, I think I've seen that they are issuing the new IDs, but also they've not told you to throw away your old ID, because I understand that even when they punch off the old ID and to show that you've received a new one, they don't touch the barcode, because the barcode can still be read and your particulars have not changed and the NIN has not changed and the barcode details have not changed. So I think I saw that guidance, but NIRA will advise further. But for purposes of identifying you, we will need that ID. But like I've said, if you do not have it, then we'll going through these other measures that we have put in place. The ID is faster. It talks to the technology that we have faster, in a faster way. It's the best thing that you should do. Please go and get it if you can.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul Bukenya. This conversation has to come to a close, unfortunately. A lot of questions left unanswered due to time, but I know we'll be having you back, because this is the season where every Ugandan must be well informed to exercise their right as well as responsibilities and duties at that. As we close this off, do you think Ugandans trust the Electoral Commission? And in case there is no trust in your perspective, what do you think can be done better to buy the trust of Ugandans?
Well, the question of trust remains, but I also, when it really puts me personally in a fix, and then I turn back to the Ugandans and say, but really, this is your Electoral Commission. This is your Electoral Commission. Why don't you trust yourself as Ugandans? We are currently recruiting officers, officials, and we've recruited young men and young women from the communities. I wonder whether we trust these young men. They are our sons and daughters. They're going to handle the biometric verification machines. They're going to handle us at the polling stations. They're in hundreds of thousands. They are the ones, this is the Electoral Commission, because the Electoral Commission is more than the people seated here. It is now these officials, they speak our language, they're from our parish, I think we need to trust that this is our process and address the issues that may come up. But this is really our process. We must trust it. These are our people. They're the ones who are handling the process. I've seen the long lines coming for apply for these hundreds of thousands of jobs, and they are the ones who are going to handle polling at your station out there in Udaka, in Namaingo, in Chisoro, in Abim. Don't you trust them? I think we need to give them the confidence. We need to trust them. We need to make also their work easy. We need to follow the guidelines, the procedures, and because that's where all issues start. So I think we need to trust ourselves, and,
right.
and we need to start with you as an individual. Otherwise, we are the Electoral Commission. It's not a foreign agency from some other place. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's very profound.
Welcome.
And my take home from this conversation thus far is focus. Yes, you have your rights. Focus on your rights. But also remember that each right comes with a duty and a responsibility.
Yeah, sure.
At that. Up next is GMU Sports with Ruben. Good morning.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day,